Yes, it's good to see Gary Anderson healthy. Had to miss Premier League in Leeds, and I have to say, we see him as we pulled up there, my son, and he didn't look well at all. I didn't think he would have played on Thursday. I didn't expect him to be here. But us men are so resilient getting over illness. I think the women may have something to say about that.
I think Rachel,
who's Gary's partner, would have something to say, but he's here, and the William Hill World Champion. We need him in every event, to be quite honest.
Well, it certainly doesn't harm the status of the Dutch Darts Masters to have Gary Anderson here, as well as Michael van Gerwen, Adrian Lewis, Peter Snakebite-Wright, Dave Chisnell, Michael Smith.
140.
Stellar lineup for the opening European Tour event of the year. Gary Anderson only seeded 12th for this. That's despite being the world number 2, of course. But it is due to this particular tour ranking.
Well, Anderson, one of those, I suppose we'd call raw talents in the game, along with Lewis and Van Gerwen. The throw is just
so
natural, isn't it? You know, we analysed the throw, Dan, didn't we, on the wire?
Well, you did. I mean, I just sort of held the camera. But
well, yeah, you did a good job of that. And it was very interesting when Anderson brought the dart back. The flight, a bit like Mervyn King, comes right to the eye, so he's literally looking down the V of the flight, just like you would do a sight on a gun. And we see it, he pulls it back there, look, and he's literally looking down the V of that flight.
140.
Both men on doubles after 4 visits to the board. Mervyn's left his favourite, double 16. He doesn't miss it much. Double 8 next door.
Shot in the first leg.
14 darts, a strong start from Mervyn King. Yeah, he's not a big practicer, is he, Gary
91.
Anderson? But I don't think it's a coincidence that his upturn in form over the last 2 years actually coincided with him doing more practice. He said, actually got up off my sofa, turned the telly off, and went and practiced down my local on a Wednesday night. And lo and behold,
59.
throwing darts a bit more regularly coincided with him actually winning some tournaments.
Yeah, I think it's a fine balance with people like Anderson and Lewis. I mean,
81.
You know, they're not the sort of people that practice 6-8 hours a day because they'd get bored. And you don't want to rub out any of that natural talent, that flair that they've got. So it is just, you know, turning your arm over for an hour each day and then tournaments at weekend. And I think for those, it works. Other people like Mervyn King, for instance, will be on the board for 5-6 hours a day.
Merv probably started practicing last night. He's banging down the door of venues early in the morning. The first one in.
Mervyn, you require
get on the practice board. And Merv does have some, a number of successes on the European Tour.
54.
He did win one in Sindelfing and beat Michael Smith in the final of that. But he's made 3 more finals.
He's been a good player for a long time, Mervyn, and he's a tough nut to crack. I mean, you're not going to beat Mervyn King by playing mediocre darts. As he takes out the 86 to go 2-0 up, that's a break of throw.
Third leg, Mervyn
certainly taken the game 103 average for Mervyn King.
Yeah, well, he beat Ronnie Baxter in the first round here through a 92 average. It was a 6-3 win. It was solid enough,
85.
But you would think by the end of this one, a 92 average won't be enough to see off Gary Anderson. He might be, Gary may be still feeling the effects of his illness. He doesn't play in top gear every time he takes the stage. This looks good, though. Just 140.
Tell you what, Gary Anderson's let go of that first start before Mervyn King hardly got off the hockey. Didn't really got past Georgie Noble when that first dart's on its way.
140.
See it here again if they hold that shot. It's literally over the shoulder of Mervyn King, isn't it?
In danger of getting one in his earplug.
You require 136.
Yeah, 136 for Mervyn King. Only get 6 darts from here anyway.
$60. $137
from the world champion.
76.
Tops he wants.
36.
Now then, 86. Mervyn King took this out in the last leg. Can Gary Anderson return the favour? Finds the treble, so he doesn't need the bullseye. And fires it in. It's a 14-darter. It's a break back for Gary Anderson.
Full flag Gary to throw first. Game on.
Yes, and he needed to do that. He couldn't let Mervyn King go 3 legs to 0 up. And now perhaps we'll see Gary step on the gas a bit.
140.
The win on the European Tour for Gary Anderson at the start of 2014 was his first of
45.
9 titles that year, culminating in his first World Championship title. It was the first step
45.
on his return to top form. Gary will tell you, oh, I'm nowhere near as good a player as I used to be. I used to be a proper dart player. I'm not sure I buy it.
I certainly don't buy it.
2 world titles back to back, joining a very elite club
83.
of people who've defended their first world title. And there he's also won the Premier League for a 2nd time, and he won the Players' Championship finals.
85. $100.
Yes, the game of the tournament for the World Championship for me was against Jelle Klaassen. You know, Klaassen was playing some exceptional
140.
dance, but he just ripped him apart, really, didn't he?
It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. The first set hit the 9-darter, averaging 130 odd
140.
by the end of it.
Gary required 91.
And he just did not let up. Great dart. It's back to back 14 darters for Gary Anderson to level the match up at 2 apiece.
Game on.
Yes, 86 and then the 91.
Ah, good response from Mervyn King. First maximum.
80.
Oh, Gary. Gary Anderson.
Looks very pretty on the main scoreboard there, 2 180s. Oh, Mervyn just on the bottom wire, that's unlucky though.
99.
Cheers turn to O's, turn to boos. Gary nearly booed himself there, straying into the
44.
line.
Yes, I think he called him something there in Scottish.
I don't think it was nice.
No.
Back in the treble bit there, Mervyn, just taking a step. Were you a big man for moving across the off-key? Even, I mean, that's got an open bed there, but Simon Whitlock will tell you, you know, you can make it bigger, even just taking a little step to change your angle to use those darts. But you didn't do that so much, did you? You felt if you got your line in length, just stay where you are and keep at it.
No, I used to switch to the 19, so it doesn't matter how much you move across. If you've got a blocker dart on the treble 20,
82.
it doesn't matter how far you move, it's not going to be as open as going for the big 19. So I used to just switch. Dennis Priestley was great at switching the treble 18.
Mervyn, you require 40.
You know, the people that stay on the treble 20 and they get deflections. Again, it's playing the percentages, Dan, you know. There's Mervyn King.
And a 5th leg, Mervyn King.
13 dart leg for Mervyn King. Takes a 3-2 lead.
134.
You've got a really good game here. Mervyn King led 2-0. Taking out 32 and 86. Gary Anderson hit back with a brace of 14 darters.
60.
A couple of very assured checkouts of 86 and 91, both in 2 darts. And now Mervyn with a 13-darter has just reminded Anderson that he's there and he's not going to go quietly.
$60.
Devon Peterson awaits the winner of this one.
Dancing Devon Peterson.
97.
To give him his full title. Putting a very good display against Kim Huybrechts earlier on. Won it 6-2 to knock out the number 5 seed. Kim, perhaps the highest profile casualty of the tournament so far.
134. Gary, you recall 170.
Oh, that looks very pretty. That looks as good.
145.
We've seen a few attempts at it. As yet, no one's managed to take out the big one.
We've seen a 164 from Chizzy today, 167 from Bunting yesterday.
140.
Still waiting for the 170. Gary looking at
One for
double 12.
Yes, his favourite double 12.
Aim shot in the 6th flag.
One in the world title, that has. Loves a double 12.
Mervyn to throw first. Game on.
And as yet, he's not got close to Mervyn King on Merv's throw, has he? That's the second time on the trot that Mervyn has thrown first, that he's found the maximum.
Well, they have had a break each.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, because Mervyn went 2-0 up, and then he levelled.
Right. Yeah,
But yeah, it's.
I fell asleep there.
But he hasn't led in the match yet, Gary Anderson.
I
And
do
to do that, he is going to have to find a break. And you can see there, those averages are brilliant.
Yeah, it's very unusual that you'll see Gary Anderson have a better overall average than the front 9. Normally, the front 9 for someone like Anderson is always a lot heavier than that overall. But very healthy averages from everyone.
Look at that. I love that. There's something innately satisfying about seeing leg after leg after leg and nothing going longer than 15 darts.
Yes, I agree. That's two top professionals playing at the top of their game.
100. Mervyn, you require 121.
Now then Mervyn to go back into the lead. He doesn't need to use the bullseye here. So it will be treble 15, I think. And he gets it, and it's double 8.
105.
He loves that bit of the board, so he will come back with 3 clear darts.
Again, that first dart of Gary Anderson's pitched literally
70.
over the shoulder of
Mervyn, you
Mervyn.
require 16.
Mervyn must be hearing the whistle of the dart go past his ear.
He would do if you weren't wearing earplugs.
8. Gary, you
Well,
require
he's perhaps lucky that
140.
Anderson didn't pick up just even another 20 points would have made a big difference here. Because he needed 2 trebles for a dart at a double.
43. Mervyn, you require 8.
Well, this one has to go, you would think, with Anderson finishing so well at the moment. Slide in next to that one, just like that. And Mervyn King goes back into the lead, and still Gary Anderson has not led in this match.
82. $99.
Looks good. Looks perfect. And that's the maximum for Gary Anderson.
Makes it look so easy, doesn't he? Don't you just-
Infuriatingly so at times.
Yes, I was going to say, don't you just hate him? More workmanlike for Mervyn King, but exactly the same result.
And again?
140.
Not quite. And it's left him 99. Quick, go and get your lad to know how to take this out. 19-2 tops. Mervyn will stick another one in, though. And now there's real pressure on Gary Anderson.
It certainly is. Tops for Anderson.
Oh, that's the danger.
59.
That is the danger. And Mervyn King now. 10 for double 16. For a break of throw and a 5-3 lead, and to put the world champion in all kinds of problems. It's there. 11 darter from Mervyn King.
Yes, 2 180s. A brilliant leg of darts. And if you're going to hit back-to-back 180s, do it against the throat. That's when they damage. Certainly, Mervyn King has put some damage onto Gary Anderson.
100.
He's got the throw in 2 of the remaining 3 legs, Mervyn. Gary Anderson, when his back is against the wall, he often produces his best. He's going to need it here, and it's a brilliant start. A 3rd maximum for the world champ. Mervyn, with his decades of experience, you wouldn't have thought he's going to get flustered in this situation.
81.
But he is still going to have to find a winning double somewhere. Look at that, 102 average, 104 average. Saw Jamie Lewis lose with that average of more than 103 earlier on today.
81.
Could we be about to see something similar happen here?
Yeah, he's got to stay on the 20s this time.
100.
That's a great last dart from Anderson. Well, Mervyn King's hit a few 180s. What he wouldn't do for a 180 right now. The 140 would help.
100. Gary require 140.
Just the 60. Mervyn King, 127 for the match. Will he get a match dart? Treble 19. Oh, it's just next door in the treble 3 to Gary Anderson. He's already had finishes of 86 and 91. Can he take out the 80? He's only going to get 1 dart. It's at tops. And he gets it. And it is a break of throw. But the job is not done yet. Gary Anderson has got to hold his throw and then break again.
Gary to throw first. Game on. 100.
A good start, but not a brilliant one after putting the first dart in the treble. And now, 2 legs ago, Mervyn King against the throw hit 2 180s. Went on, had an 11 dart leg, and what he wouldn't do for give for 11 dart leg now.
96. $140.
Good stuff from Mervyn King. Gets him back into this one. Gary Anderson. Pressure's on.
81.
Problem last dart.
Well, Mervyn possibly got 9 darts from this 283.
100.
Just the ton. Great looking dart.
98.
Well, you would have to say advantage to Mervyn King.
Maybe not now.
97. Gary, you require
Good last dart
126.
could make the difference. 126, 419s for the bullseye. Bit awkward. Oh, now then, Mervyn King.
58. Mervyn, you require
86. He should at least get a dart at the bullseye.
Well, we see him take this out in one of the earlier legs. There's the 18 bullseye. Oh,
Mervyn!
70.
A
Gary, you
rookie
require
error from a man of
68.
such experience. Can Anderson make him pay? He'll only get 1 dart. Well, he's hit the treble.
56.
And Mervyn King
Mervyn
will
requires
finally
16.
get match darts, and he's got 3 of them. And his favourite bit of the board, it's double 8 for 6-4 to
Great
knock out
shot.
the world champion.
And
And Gary
Mervyn
Anderson
King.
is dumped out in round 2 of the Dutch Darts Masters. Mervyn King went toe-to-toe with him. 4 180s for Mervyn King, including 2 in a leg that helped get that break to put him 5-3 up. And well, might you celebrate Mervyn? Stunning display from the King, and he is through to face Devon Peterson tomorrow for a place in the quarterfinals. Gary Anderson dumped out in the second round of the Dutch Darts Masters. We've got